welcome to our Friday Fellowship for December. And we're here live at Spark Space in Columbus, Ohio. Hopefully we have many of you online with us as well. And I want to first recommend that you share this live right now. So if you're watching online, share it. If you're here live, please share this so that we can let plenty of people out in the world see about creating your first flawless idea. With Kary Oberbrunner with Igniting Souls. Also, I want to find out who was at the global release party live on Tuesday evening. Who all was here live? Wow, lots of hands, awesome. And online, if you were there, type in where you're from and if you were there. And we got to release this book. It was Elixir Project. And oh my goodness, how exciting was that? Wasn't it so great? It was so fun. We had that cannonball going on at the end. It was kind of freaky at first because Kary psyched us out, and the confetti was awesome. And while we're here at Spark Space, they have lots of fun things to put on and do, and neat things all around the rooms and lots of different rooms. So I'm going to wear my over the hill hat that I was handed. And I'm going to talk about, just for a second, flaws ideas. I have had a lot of ideas. There's been many ideas that I've had. Some that were great, some that were not so great. But what about those ideas make it awesome? You know, it's not that we have an idea and it is completely perfect. But what about those ideas that make them awesome is when we can really dive in, get them, oh, there's a screen, get them ready to go and implement them, right? So we have Kary Oberbrunner here that's going to help us with that, creating the ideas, implementing them, and he has done such an amazing job. So let's have a great applause for Kary.
How you guys doing today?
Great.
Awesome. How's the online crowd? I'm going to stand right here, David, if this is great, fantastic. If I need to shift, but hopefully you guys can see over there. Yeah, welcome to Spark Space. We're going to hear from the Spark Space founder in just a second. He's going to share and just give us a warm welcome. Couple quick things. I'm a bald guy with the girl's name, Kary. I'm the chief igniter here at Igniting Souls, and it's just an honor to be here. I'd love to hear where you guys are from online. So if you could type in the comments where you're from, country, state, city, whatever, that's fantastic. And then also, I'd like you guys as well. What's your first idea that you want to tackle today? Literally think about that. What's an idea that you want to tackle today? And I'm actually going to stand over here, I think, so that I can be closer with the audio, okay? So, welcome. Good to see you here. Is it Ruben?
Yes.
I don't have my glasses on. I can barely even see, man.
I understand.
Ruben did a birthday voicemail to me. This guy is a singer, man. This guy's a good singer, so awesome job. This is called our Igniting Souls Fellowship. We do this once a month. We've been doing this now we're going on our 5th year next year. Can you believe that? Some of you have been around that long. It's awesome. But I want to bring Mark right up, and trust me, folks, today's teaching is going to blow your mind. I will show you how to create your first flawless idea. And Mark, I know that Spark Space was an idea in your mind years ago.
Far from flawless, though.
Far from flawless, and we're going to talk about that today. But just give us 30 to 60 seconds about what is Spark Space. Of course, your website is sparkspace.com. Isn't this a cool place, guys? Yeah, awesome.
Well, Kary, thank you so much, and thank you to everybody who's here, everybody online. We are extremely proud of this business. We've been around for about 17 years. In spite of its flaws, and we still love the idea of it. And what the idea is that we are a creative meeting space. We're a one-of-a-kind space where corporate teams come, try to get things done, try to collaborate, have better ideas, bigger ideas, more creative ideas, and we've created the environment to help them do that.
Love it.
That's kind of what the idea is all about, and hosting things like this as well, where we get to interact and engage with all kinds of really smart, fun people that are trying to do something different, try to think bigger in their lives, and advance themselves and their companies and their friends and their communities. So that's what we're all about.
And Mark's got a new book coming out about superpowers, ordinary superpowers.
Ordinary superpowers, yep.
Can't wait. So see, he's a man full of ideas, and you're sitting in one that actually was implemented. So we're going to talk about that today. Thanks for hosting us, Mark.
Glad you're here.
Awesome, yeah. All right, so let's get right into it today. Yes, as Renee said, we had a fantastic party the other night. Thank you. So many of you came. We had cannons. We had cake. That was the world's biggest cake, trust me. But if you guys can share this right now, that would be fantastic. There are so many people right now who are saying, I wish I could implement an idea. Now listen, I'm going to share a quick story about me pulling in today. Okay, can I do that? Can I do that? This is off the record. So when I pulled in today, I was in my own world, right? How many of you are in your own world, right? You're in your own world? That's all good. So I'm walking across the street and this lady honks her horn at me and cusses at me. And I'm like, whoa, you know? I'm like, it's all good, you know, right? It's all good. I just let her go, drive by. But here's what I'm thinking. You know, it's fine, but this lady is not on the same wavelength as us in the room. You know what I'm saying? If the best thing in life is honking your horn and cussing at someone because they made you wait half a second when the pedestrian has the right of way and I didn't walk out right in front of them, something's up. But you guys hang with us, right? You know that what we're talking about today is so powerful. Igniting souls. A flawless idea anatomy. This is 2 years of research in neurobiology, neuroscience. Brenda's in the room. You heard last time. You were like, wow, I am tracking. I love this stuff. You've been in your own research. So we are going to jump into this today, but I want to ask you to please share it because our goal is to ignite 1 million souls by 2020. And if someone you know needs to be on this today, tag them, tell them, do not miss this. And let's jump right in today. How many of you were at the Becoming Unhackable Igniting Souls Conference? A bunch of you. Fantastic. We had people flying in from all over the country. This is a little bit about what I taught at the conference. So I'm going to kind of unpack it for you guys. Thank you, by the way, online as well. If you were at the release party, go ahead and say I was there. But guys, we crushed a world record. I could not have done this without you guys in the room. Seriously, without your support. 7,000 views, 180 events, 157 satellite cities, 15 countries, 6 continents, 1 world record. We launched it. But here's the point. That was an idea. Do you catch that? What I'm teaching you guys today is how we achieve this. So nothing in the room that I'm talking about today is theory. When I share later on how we got on Shawshank and how we started Author Academy Elite, a crazy business, how I wrote Elixir Project, how we did a launch party, I'm going to give you guys a blueprint today on how to make your idea happen. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Let's hear it. Are you guys ready for it? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's jump right into it. By the way, Elixir Project, this is all from that. Now, Elixir Project is a fiction book. Mark just finished it. He's mad because I ended it where it continues. The book got too long, you know? I'm like, what is this going to be, a 1,000-page book? So it ends at a pretty cool part with characters. But it's a fiction book, but it's built around fact, okay? I shared this in the room, but do you guys know that this morning on CBS News, they found out that toys are now monitoring the kids and sending back to the military and other places what's happening in the home. Do you guys get this? I mean, do you understand this? And so when people are reading the Elixir Project, they're like, this is happening. Yes, that's actually why I wrote the book. This is in the near future. Last year, there was a Barbie doll released with verbiage about telling the kid to go to Epcot and that she likes Disney World and that the doll wants to go to Epcot. Okay, so that was like soft marketing, but now they're actually pushing back marketing messages so that governments and companies can buy that stuff and then sell us in our families. You guys see how crazy this is? So we live in a world that is getting hacked, but I'm going to teach you today how your ideas are getting hacked. Because to me, that's even worse. Who cares? Somebody's monitoring me. Okay, that freaks me out. It does. But if my ideas are getting hacked, that's not cool. Okay? We're going to jump into that today. David, if you can share the link too for the book, that'd be fantastic. The book is definitely resonating with people. There it is. It's definitely resonating with people of all ages. So we got the young, we got the old, we got Renee's son there. We got international students. People are checking out the book. But again, I'm more passionate about you guys and what the book will help you do in your life. And here's where we're going to start right now. Flawless ideas don't happen by accident, right? They don't happen by accident. Flawless ideas are a result of 4 components. I'm going to give you guys those 4 components today. I see the audience right here has paper and pen. If you guys have paper and pen or something to jot it down with online, just let me know. Let me know if you guys got it as well. Here's what you're going to discover today. Today you're going to discover the 4 components of essential flawless ideas, okay? The 4 components that are essential for that. Number 2, how to overcome the 2 common obstacles that sabotage and stagnate, okay? Because there's 2 things we got to be aware of. And we got to be aware of those, otherwise our ideas will get hacked. And number 3, I'm going to teach you how to leverage universal laws that govern idea creation. Okay, you guys ready? Awesome. All right, let's jump right into it. You should be here if you're one of these 5. Let's hear which one of you guys are online. You're an entrepreneur, you're an artist, you're an author, you're a leader, or you're a change agent. Does everybody fit today?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Mark, all right. All right. Rick, good to see you. Awesome. Differences between processes and events. I'm going to give you guys 90 minutes today of pure gold. However, the best I can do is the right side. Decisions, motivate, calendar issue, and I can challenge you. This is what I can do for you guys today. I'm going to try to do that for you today. What I can't do is this. Okay, you guys are going to get a mental workout, an emotional workout, a holistic workout. I cannot do this often unless you're in a process. So at the very end, I'm going to share briefly. If you say, man, I love this stuff. This stuff is really powerful. This stuff would help me. This stuff would help me launch my book. This stuff would help me start my business. Great, I'll share at the end something called Elixir Project Experience. All right, again, today I'm teaching you the tip of the iceberg. Underneath it is an additional process. All right, does this picture scare anybody?
Yes.
Yes, all right, it's scary.
I'm looking to see
Yeah.
it too.
It's back.
It's back? We're good? Okay. All right, people still there?
Just go.
Awesome, let's rock and roll, guys. Industry drill down. Here's the different places that are being hacked. Does anyone see something that they care about on that? Anybody? What if your restaurant was hacked? Should I really freak people out? What if someone wanted to hack a refrigerator and say that it was actually being cold, but it was actually warm, and then they served it? Little stuff, right? Little stuff, right? We live in a world where, check it out, everything that's connected can be hacked. Think about what's all connected today. Everything's online, right? The Internet of Things, has anyone ever heard about this? One day, everything will be connected. Everything. Band-Aids, why not? You know? It's going to be cheap enough. Let's connect our Band-Aid and let's see if it's healing, right? All kinds of crazy stuff. All right, I don't want to freak anyone out because here's why. I care about our ideas getting hacked. That's where I care about. I'm not a espionage defense dude. I care about people's ideas being hacked because I know that if your idea is hacked, you're not going to be a soul on fire. True? All right, so let's jump right in and say that hacking, check it out, hacking is when someone gains unauthorized access to a system or a computer, all right? Gaining unauthorized access to a system or a computer. How many of you have felt, you know what? My body's a system. Do you guys agree with that? That your body is a system? True. What about, we're struggling here with the PowerPoint here. Let me get this here.
Is that not working anymore?
Check this out here.
It's getting hacked.
It is. Someone hacked the PowerPoint. We're all good. We're all good. Look at that, Mark. It works. I think, although that looks hacked. That looks hacked. All right. All right. Someone's hacking me. See, I told you guys, anything can be hacked, right? So let's go back to this and say that our body is made up of systems. Isn't this true? Our body is made up of systems. Our brain is like a computer. So I truly believe that people can get hacked today, and they are getting hacked. This photo will not even make sense because it got hacked. But let's jump right into it. I don't have time to go through all three, but I'm going to go through one today. I'm going to go through today flawless idea anatomy, and specifically, basically idea, which is part of the focus and flow. It all fits together. It's a paradigm. Okay, you guys ready? Here's the three-step process that I used for everything. Okay, launching day job to dream job at Shawshank Prison. Rick was there, right? John, were you there? Not at that one. Rick was there. Number 2, creating Author Academy Elite. How many of you have heard about that or you're part of it? How many are part of it, right? And number 3, our biggest brand to date, Elixir Project. Guys, this is the same map, the same blueprint that I used for all 3 of those, okay? You guys ready? And if some people don't know about us and they're saying, is this guy telling the truth? Absolutely, okay? I won't go through all of it today, but you guys literally know that we got on, that's weird, man. That's really weird. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
creative.
It is creative. It's creative art. Here's what we're going to do while we're fixing this. I don't know. I'm going to ask a question online, and I'm going to say, with you guys right here at your tables, here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down the idea that is in your mind, but that you've been rejecting. What's an idea that's kind of been floating around you, but you've been rejecting it? Okay? Kathy, do you got one?
I do.
I know you have one. All right, let's write that down. Awesome. And then let's hear about it online too. Let's hear about it online too. Other ideas that you guys have. Okay, ideas that you guys have. Kathy, you had an idea to start a bed and breakfast, didn't you?
Correct.
Awesome. Is that happening?
Zoning is Monday night.
Zoning is Monday night. You guys see this? And you had how many guests stay at your bed and breakfast unofficially so far?
Well, we're giving out complimentary rooms in
Yeah.
exchange for reviews.
Excellent.
And so far, we've had 4.
4. Fantastic.
And all 4 have been through the Igniting Souls Tribe.
The Ignited Souls Tribe. Awesome. You guys see how this is happening? How many of you, you'll be honest, you said up until today when I came in the room, I'm one of these idea guys or girls, but I struggle with implementation. Raise your hand. A bunch of you, okay? In other words, you have an idea, but you struggle implementing it. Why is that? If you just had to take a guess. What story have you been telling yourself? Time.
I don't have enough money.
I don't have enough money.
Fear.
Fear.
Knowledge.
Knowledge.
People.
What?
People.
People. Resources, right? Anybody else on this side? Distractions. So you guys have said that ideas come to you and through you, but then you struggle implementing them. Do you think that this is the way God created it? That he said, you know, I'm going to create these, the top of the food chain people, they're going to be created in my image, but I'm going to give them tons of ideas and then just laugh when they sit there and get hacked. Do you guys think that that's the way God works? Or do you think God actually says, I want their idea to happen? I want their idea to be implemented. What do you think? Again, this isn't church today. It's not faith. It's not a faith lesson. But which one do you think glorifies God more?
When we implement.
When we implement them. When Mark has an idea called Spark Space and then puts it into practice. Boom, and we're all sitting in it and enjoying it. Make sense? Awesome. We're good? Awesome. So anyway, here's the point. This happened. The idea to be on Shawshank 20th anniversary happened, and I have emails and proof and all this stuff, and I tell the whole story, but I don't have time today. But it happened. Like, I wrote the book, right? I wrote the book a year before that, sitting in Shawshank. And then when I'm sitting there writing the book, I'm like, I'm going to come back here and launch the book here with Hollywood celebrities. That idea came to me, and I could have said, just an idea. See, when I get an idea, I realize the power of the idea. Do you guys realize that? Yeah. If you think, oh, ideas are cheap, ideas are just disposable, here's what's funny. I tell people, If you think your idea is not important, imagine you watching cable TV 2 years from now, sitting with a loved one, and your idea shows up on the screen. If you think your idea is not important, imagine 2 years from now your idea on the TV screen, and how would you feel? How do you think people would feel, Pete?
They would feel pretty upset that
Yeah.
they didn't implement it.
What words would they say? Imagine, what words would you say as you're sitting next to your loved one watching your idea?
Say, that was my idea.
That was my idea, right? And what else?
I should have done that.
I should have done that. What else? He or she stole my idea. Wow. Somebody stole your idea. Oh, to me that says that you owned it. You can't steal something that's not yours. Do you guys get this?
Yeah.
Unless you own your idea, you will not take it seriously. Let me give you an example. Do I care about hurting kids? Do you guys think I care about hurting kids?
Yes.
Yes. But when that kid is my kid, do you think you care a little bit more? I mean, it's sad to see a kid on TV hurting. But suddenly when you get the call from the teacher and it's like, what happened? I'm there. See, you owned it and therefore you acted. Some of you don't own your ideas. Let's be honest. Come on right now on the line, right? Some of you don't own your ideas. You think, oh, my idea is dispensable. My idea is take it or leave it. Is it? Every idea has a cost for acting or not acting. Ruben, what's the cost if you don't implement your idea? Have you ever spent time about that?
Absolutely.
You have?
The cost is emotional devastation.
Emotional devastation. Wow, I feel that fire right there. But that's something we need to do. That's what I do with all my ideas. I say, what is the cost if I don't have Elixir project written? Boom, and I spend time there. And suddenly I start becoming pretty excited about it. Everyone has a default called lazy. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
Is this true?
Yes.
Right? Our default is inaction as humans. Our default is preserve and protect. True?
Mm-hmm.
So if that's your default, then most people live a life where they literally have to be kicked from heaven to take action. What if you switched it? What if you actually said, okay, universe, which I believe is God, but universe or God, you give me any idea and I'm there. Have you guys postured yourself that way yet? Have you literally postured yourself where you've said, Mark says with his new book, Ordinary Superpowers, I'm ready, I'm going to write it, I'm going to be faithful, I'm going to be obedient, you just tell me where to go, boom, I'm there. Think about that. Does that make sense? Blank check. Most of us, we don't operate that way in life. We say, oh, this idea, well, here's my conditions. And we write out all of our conditions, and then we say, now, if all those conditions are met, fine, I'll take action with my idea. Mm-hmm. That is a recipe for failure, for getting hacked. Cool? All right, let's keep rolling. Anyways, this is how Shawshank literally happened. There's the 20th anniversary. It made it in the New York Times. I suddenly became known as the Shawshank author. That was pretty funny. Never went to jail in my life. And anyways, let's keep rolling. Other ideas happen too. So Author Academy Elite happened the same way. All right? Do not know what's up. I see someone's hacking me. See, this is fun. This is fun. Let's keep rolling. Let's see if this will work.
Live example.
Awesome. It is all good. That was upside down. See, what if I actually created this on purpose? What would you guys think?
You got it.
What would you guys think?
You're a genius.
You guys would think this is a genius, right? I don't even know how to flip that PowerPoint like that. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
Turn the computer upside down. You'll be good.
Yeah.
Backwards.
Yeah. Okay? So PowerPoint. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask Rick. Come on up here, buddy. Give me a hand, man. So we restarted PowerPoint. We're going to jump right in. and it is going to happen. All right, let's just roll. Thank you. See, Rick, Rick fixed it, man. Rick fixed it. So this same thing happened with Author Academy Elite. It happened with the Elixir Project. I'm not going to go into all the slides to prove it. I'm just going to say that this stuff, it works. It works. We have people in the room that have gone through Author Academy Elite, that have gotten published, and it even happened with the Elixir Project. So right now I'm going to get into something called Flawless Idea Anatomy. Get your pens ready. We're going to get right there real quick. We're going to get you guys the first point. You ready? Here we go. Flawless Idea Anatomy. Here we go. The first point, they all start with P. You ready? They all start with P. The first one is promise. Promise. I think we're good. I don't know. That's our backup.
That's your backup.
That's our backup.
I think maybe your adapter. So.
It might be the adapter. That's our backup. And in the book, in Elixir Project, again, I didn't want to bore people. I didn't want to make a TED Talk book that was nonfiction. So instead what I did is I wrote a fiction book. In Elixir Project, there's something called verdicts, okay? Each of the clerics have to go through this verdict, which is a test. Does anyone know what verdict means? What is a verdict?
It's a decision.
It's a decision. Thank you. I didn't even know what it meant. It's a decision. So a verdict is a decision. So they're in these three things called verdicts. And the first one is called the idea verdict. And here's the scene in Elixir Project. I'll just give you a little sneak peek. They're all given these goggles that are called IR goggles, which stand for Imagine Reality. And this isn't too far off, folks. So they put on these goggles and they jump into a pool literally called ideation. It's a pool called ideation, and in the pool, it mimics brain fluid. Your brain, is fantastic, but that's what the pool mimics. And they're told that whatever happens in that pool, whatever you imagine happens. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be really cool? That you wear IR goggles, right? Not VR goggles, virtual reality, but IR, Imagine Reality goggles, and anything that you imagine and when you jump into this pool happens. So some of you who've read the book, they start imagining some pretty crazy stuff. And they start fighting one another, right? And check it out. Here's a little clip from the book. In Idea Verdict, you'll outwit your opposing cohorts in a war of ideas. Inside the pool, you'll eliminate the gap between ideation and implementation. And by observation and analysis, we'll be able to deconstruct flawless ideas inside the verdict and replicate them in the world. There's this group called the Senior Board of Clerics in the Elixir Project, and they are watching Sienna and her friends to see how they can become unhackable. And again, this is all a fiction book, except it's not, right? It's a fiction book in some ways, but it's not too far off. And so the first thing that I want to say is that your idea is not bound by time. So let me give a disclaimer first. In my research, I researched Navy SEALs. I reached action and adventure sports athletes. I researched education, neuroscience. I researched Me High, Chick Sent Me High. Can you believe that name? Does anyone know how to spell that name? It's crazy. Okay, you can't even spell it. You just start typing it in Google and they're like, oh, here's another idiot who doesn't know how to spell his name. We'll help you out, right? He came up with this term called flow, right? Back several decades ago, that he realized that people were in their optimal state of human happiness and performance in a state of flow. All of that stuff is in the flow verdict, but today we're talking about the idea verdict. Today I'm going to go a little bit ancient literature on you, okay? And again, whether you choose to believe this or not is your choice. Whether you choose to believe the science end, the faith end, that's all up to you. I'm just presenting information today and saying, take it or leave it. But to borrow from ancient literature, let me share this. You guys ever hear this verse before? Anybody? Right? It's this verse, right, by this guy named Jesus, and he says, hey, you think that you have to actually commit an act to sin, right? You guys remember this? He says, no. You don't have to commit the act to sin. If you imagine it, you've already done it. Whoa. Hold on. You guys catch that? If you've imagined the idea in the records of the universe, it's as if you had already done it. So here's my point. If you're going to do the work to imagine your idea, why not actually do it and get the reward? Good point? What do you guys think online? What do you think? If you're going to take the first step and imagine your idea and do the work, why not actually get the reward? What do you guys think?
Brilliant.
Yeah? Okay, let's go. Let's keep going. Again, this is going to be deep stuff. Okay? This is time. Check it out. Again, Jesus, right? Jesus in the garden, he says, hey, I'm about ready to get nailed to a cross and be crucified. How many of you are like, sign me up? Sounds fun? Chuck E. Cheese, crucifixion, we can put it all together, right? Now, this is intense stuff. And yet he says, as he's about to face his darkest hour, when he's sweating drops of blood, physiologically speaking, I pray that my future followers be with me where I am, present tense. What's going on? What's going on in this? That whether you think Jesus is just a great teacher or you think he's the Son of God, that something crazy is happening in this passage. That he says, yes, I'm minutes away from my darkest, deepest torture that I'm praying that this cup would pass from me, but I pray that all my future followers, right, may be with me where I am. Where was he?
On the cross.
He was physically in the garden, but where was he? You guys catch it? He was mentally in another place. Has anyone ever heard of this before? Don't talk to that person. They're not even listening. They're in another world, right? Now check it out. My wife's a counselor for years. Look it up. Counseling term. Disassociation. We have Kaya in the room. Disassociation. Does anyone know about this?
Yes.
It's when you're in a painful, traumatic situation that's prompting, memories perhaps, and you literally go somewhere else. You literally check out to cope and survive. This is what Patty Hearst did. Remember that? Back in the day? I wasn't alive, but what was this called? The Stockholm syndrome. She disassociated. Oh, I know these people are my killers and they're bank robbers, but I'm going to bond to my captor and I'm going to disassociate and basically quiet my conscience so that I can participate in an activity that I normally wouldn't do. Here's the point, folks. Let's keep rolling. Your idea is not bound by space. Again, I can share neurobiology examples. I can show ancient literature examples. Let me just share let me share a scientific example with you guys. Something that happened in history, right? When did JFK put a man on the moon? What year? 1969, and I heard 1962. You're both right. Why are you both right? Idea first creation, idea second creation. Some people only thought that he landed a man on the moon in what year? 1969. They're like, I'm not going to believe it until I... JFK put a man on the moon in 1962. It just took 7 years to actually be created and manifested a second time. Mark, come on up here. This is fun, man. I'm so glad our technology works. Someone was hacking me. It's all good. It wasn't Mark. Mark, what year was it when you first came up with SparkSpace, the idea?
Probably 95.
95. Is this when you were with that one company?
Yeah.
Where they were in the woods and people would come to you and you would see them loosen up and what was that company called?
Fitch.
Fitch. Yep. So he was at a company called Fitch. They were in the woods and it was off-site and people would come to you and meet, and you would see them relax, loosen up.
They loved it. They would say things like, "I wish I could work in a place like this." So,
Awesome. So that was
1995.
1995. When was it when you got that first shack, one room? No, I'm kidding. It wasn't that bad. But it was a one-room Spark Space with a bathtub that you had to pull a shower curtain, and you put Austin Powers cardboard cutout behind it, and when people peeked in the restroom, you would hear screams.
Yeah. Just for fun. Totally for fun. Yeah.
What year was that?
That was end of '99, beginning of 2000.
End of 90. See that? 4 years. When did you come into this room, this building?
2 years after that.
2 years after that. When was Spark Space created? 1995. But some people are like, no. It didn't happen until he opened it up here. You're going to get haters and critics and cynics. Awesome. I'm glad you stuck with that idea.
Me too.
First creation, second creation. Do you guys know what Walt Disney, what happened when they opened up the Magic Kingdom? You guys know this story? You guys know this story? They open up, right? I got all the dates and stuff in my notes. I'm not even going to refer to it now. I'll get out of flow. I don't want to do that. But when they open up Magic Kingdom, one of the people turns to the CEO of Disney and says, "Oh, if only Walt were here to see it." What do you think the CEO said? He saw it, and that's why we're here today. See it?
It's a visionary.
You see that? And it's a visionary, yes. But it's also someone, yes, it is a visionary, but it's also someone who says, I can see it and I'm in it. Some people are coming up to me at the Elixir Project party on Tuesday night, and they're saying, oh, dude, this is awesome. Isn't this awesome? And you know what? It was, but in a weird way, I had already been there months before. Like literally, I know this is weird, but like literally I had actually had the party several months before. Now I know you're thinking I'm a fruitcake, but why did I have the party? When do you think I started having to plan this thing? Remember when I said to you guys, save this date? Remember months ago, save December 6th. I didn't know where we were going to have it. Ouch. This is where some people shut down cognitively. They say, well, I don't have a location for Spark Space yet. Who cares? Mark actually came up with a list. I know your story. I don't stalk you, okay? But I know your story because I wrote about it in Day Job to Dream Job, and I interviewed you. And I think you made a list of everything that you would need in this fictitious space if you ever, not if, but when he got it. What do you think his brain started to do as he went through life? Remember, he's got a list. What do you think he started to do? He's like, oh, we could probably get that here. We could get that here. Some of you, check it out. I'm going to hit you right between the eyes. You've been hurt too much in the past. Your ideas have failed in the past, at least that's the story you've told yourself, that you won't even allow yourself to make a list. This was me. Chet Scott was coaching me for Built to Lead, and he's like, what's your opus? I'm like, I got my opus in my head. He's like, really? Well, I want to see it on paper. I'm like, whatever, man, I could do that easy. I was scared. I was scared and afraid of putting my next idea on paper. So Chet hit me between the eyes and he's like, I dare you to get that done on Monday. Guess how long it took me? You think I did this quick? I actually did it quick because I was hiding. I was hiding. How you doing? Good. I was hiding and I was scared, but when Chet gave me permission, that's when it all flowed. I want to give you guys permission today. If this is the number one thing you take away, I want you to do this assignment. Just write this down. You don't have to do it now. Make, not a wish list, make an implementation list for what you're going to fill your room with. That's what Mark did. This is on the fly, Mark. I like this. We're going to coin this, all right? We'll go talk together. We'll do seminars together. Mark, check it out. He had an idea in 1994. I want to create this thing called Spark Space. Maybe that wasn't even the name back then. Was it the name right away?
No.
What was the name good?
There was no name until right before we opened up.
No name. And see, he didn't even need to name it. But he said, I'm going to make a list. And the list is going to be everything that I'm going to put in that room when I get it. That's what I want you to do. Because you start creating that for the first time, it's only a matter of time for the second time. What do you guys think people said to me when I said I'm going to write a young adult, near future fiction book? What do you think people said? You've got to be kidding. Yes, that was one thing. They were a little bit more colorful, right?
In a female voice?
They're and you're going to be a female in the book. Mark said, dude, what's up with that, man? He's like, I keep thinking about this bald guy, you know? Folks, all along the way, people kept saying, I mean, we ran into problems. Oh my gosh, this cover wouldn't work. You know, the specs, and there's a million things. The guys in Serbia, I mean, you just name it. I kept the first creation in my mind. I said, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And I took action. And I'm going to keep going with you guys. Here's what you need to do, right? Jesus said to the centurion, you want your guy healed? He's healed. And what do you know about it? He was healed at that very moment. If you think your idea is bound by time or space, you don't understand the concept, Mark, right? They don't understand the concept of the way the world works. Matter and electrons. True? Anyone know anything about quantum mechanics, quantum physics, these types of things? What do you know about particles? What do you know about electrons? Where do they exist? Where do electrons exist? Do they exist only in one place? They exist in two places. They exist in multiple places. Right? Mark, come on up here, man. Come on up here, Mark. Mark knows this stuff through and through. Mark, you quote a study, and by the way, people can Google this and get to the study, but you've quoted and you've looked at studies where they've reproduced this in the lab. Tell us.
I was fascinated in my reading, and I had some things occur that were more of an idea, but they happened to me. And so I went looking for why this couldn't happen, and I read for 10 years. When I finally got to the part where subatomic particles are behaving in a lab in College Park, Maryland, according to the thought of the experimenter, it put the mind-matter connection very clearly in my belief system. And you go that big a change in a belief system, you aren't the same the next day, and you can't do the same things the next day. So inaction, when you've come to that conclusion, is not possible.
Yeah.
And I went from an agnostic to a strong spiritualist when I discovered that connection. So it's pretty powerful stuff. And we are going to make discoveries. My prediction as a retired high school math and physics teacher is that the nature of consciousness is what we're going to spend most of the next 15 or 20 years teaching the general public. And when I discovered you teaching it now, I'm fascinated and I had to be here.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Mark. Awesome. So if you guys want, Google some other time the double slit experiment. The double slit experiment. This is reproduced in lab after lab after lab. Here's what they basically do. I'll summarize it in a super simplistic way. They take particles, and particles, think of them as spheres, right? Particles, right? And they shoot these electrons through two slits. And they just boom, 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 shoot the electrons through the slits. What they thought is we're going to see a line here of all the places that we shot, and a line here of all the places that we shot, right? Because that's what you think. A sphere can't exist two places at once, right? So boom, 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 boom. They did this over and over and over again. Guess what they found? Do you think they only found it happening in two slits? They found it all kinds of places because electrons move in waves as well. So as that hit over here, it actually showed up over here. As it hit here, it showed up over here. You guys can Google this. You can YouTube it. You can see them break it down for super simple people like me, where it's like 5th grade, like little animation that they show. This is actually happening. So here's what I did with the Elixir project. What if ideas are matter? What if ideas are matter? Do you guys think ideas are matter? He says yes.
Yeah.
If ideas are matter, right, they're thoughts, right? What if they then exist in two places at once too? You guys see where I'm going with this? That when Mark had the idea in 1995, it existed there, but it also existed somewhere else. Now some of you are like, whoa, 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 whoa. What about time? What about time? Let's talk about time. Has anyone ever here had a big nervous test or speech or something in the future coming up? Right? You have? Okay. Have you ever thought about it enough that you actually became nervous about it? That you had physiological cortisol stress going through you? Maybe sweat, right? What you just did is you remembered your future. See, we always think of, oh, I can only remember the past. What happened yesterday? Pete just said he remembered his future. You guys catch this? He remembered his future. When I had the Elixir project come to me in 2014, I didn't know exactly when, but it launched in 2016. When I said I'm going to be at Shawshank release party with Hollywood celebrities in 2014, right? 2013 in the book, then it happened in 2014. What is this, guys? What if you had that same ability? Do you guys think you can have that same ability? What do you think? Anybody?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's talk about it. You guys ready for the 4 Ps? This is not me speaking. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. In other words, we think of separation. Oh, hey, by the way, has anyone ever done this? I was just thinking about you, and then you called. John, we had this experience just the other day. You're like, you reached out to me, and I'm like, that's crazy, dude. I was just thinking about where in the world is John Kretzler, right? What's going on with them? Boom, he shoots me an email. What do you guys think about that? Chance? Luck? Right? What about this? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Now, you can go one of two ways with this. You can say that's hokey, new age craziness, or you can say, you know what? It's actually the way your brain works. It's actually your RAS filter, your reticular activating system that processes 4 billion bits of information a second, whereas your conscious brain only processes 40 to 200 bits. So when you say to your RAS filter, your reticular activating system, the part in your brain that shuts out all the other information and stimuli, otherwise we would go into mind meltdown, when you tell your mind's eye to focus on something, what do you think it focuses on? Whatever you tell it to, right? Anyone say, honey, we got to buy a red Hummer. What do you start seeing everywhere? Red Hummers. Or you know what? Your sister gets pregnant. What do you think she starts saying? Everyone's pregnant. I walk, every sitcom I see that someone's pregnant. Every magazine I see. Is this weird new age craziness, or did she what? She just told her RAS filter, here's what I want you to look for. Here's what else some of you do. I'm an idiot. Guess what your RAS filter looks for every single place?
Idiots.
Idiot. You guys see how powerful this is? I have no money. Guess what your RAS filter looks to validate? Oh, here's proof, here's proof, here's proof. Whereas somebody else says, I feel like I'm rich. Oh, look, there's a dime. Look at this, a dime. Money's coming to me, whereas somebody else says, a dime? It could have been $1, God, what's up with that? A dime? What am I going to do with a dime? You guys see the difference?
Yeah.
Same dime, different host, right? Different person. You guys catching this? Isn't this nice? Mr. Rogers music. This is just an electron, okay? It's an electron, but it shows that it moves around. It's in different places. In the book, I talk about this. I talk about ideas or dreams. See, this is where I knew I couldn't go TED Talk with the fiction book. My editor made me cut 20,000 words of like TED Talk fun that I think we're going to put in the Elixir Project experience. That's what we've actually done. We put that stuff in the course. But this stuff's all eye candy and fun. Mark, you probably didn't, as you were reading the book, you probably didn't, I know, process it at that deeper level yet, because you didn't know about it.
I'm not that deep.
See, no, Mark is a deep guy, but again, most people think, oh, it's just a fun fiction book about the near future, about people getting hacked. There's stuff in there that says, whoa, ideas are thoughts, and thoughts are electrical energies. This means they have electrons, and we know electrons can exist in 2 places at once, so ideas exist in 2 places at once, okay? Here's the point, guys. They're in a building when this happens, and Phoenix says, absolutely, the architect for the building we're in had this idea in his mind, and then years later, he created it in real time. First creation and second creation. Look back at your sheet that you guys have on your tables. Do you see, Brenda, I'm going to pick on you, do you see the idea that you wrote down?
Oh, yeah.
Does it exist in one sense?
Oh, yeah, very much.
It exists in one sense. Have you fully experienced the outcome of that idea yet?
I've lived in it in my mind.
Okay, so you've lived in it in your mind. Okay, fantastic. So in one way, you're saying it does live.
Oh, yeah.
Now, here's the danger. This stuff doesn't just mean if you think it, you can do it. If you dream it, you can do it. Here's the problem. What if Brenda has 7 ideas living in her mind? What happens? Because we are finite beings with limited power, limited energy, what if she has 7 ideas living inside her? What do you think is going to happen to those 7 ideas? They kill each other. Wow, sounds like a virus. Yeah. You guys see how you cannot ignore the rules. See, I didn't say, you know what, we're going to have a Shawshank party in Zihuatanejo in Mexico, because that's where Andy and Red met on the beach, and we're going to have one in Mansfield, Ohio, where Shawshank Prison is. You guys see what happened? I just basically split my focus. And what do you know about focus? Right? Focus. If you're focused on 2 things, what are you focused on?
No.
Nothing. Did you catch that? If you focus on 2 things, you're focused on nothing. That's some of your problem. Let's just be honest. Some of your problem. Is this true? Some of you have like 3 good ideas. Guess what? I honestly believe this. I have people pay me big bucks to say, Kary, which idea should I do? I say, save your money. Here's what you should do. One of them. And they say, well, which one's going to work? And I say, the one you focus on. And I'm not trying to be silly, but do you guys see the point? Like, some of you have 4 business ideas, 4 book ideas. They're all great. And you say, well, here's what you're actually saying. How do I make sure I don't fail? Come on. Is this what you're saying? How do I make sure that I pick the best idea? What if the best idea was, honestly, God saying, which one do you want? Do you guys think I could have done other things in the last 2 years than this? Or do you think I just would have been like, let's go watch fantasy football? No, I would go nuts, right? So I could have done this idea, or I could have done other ideas. But I don't live in regret. Living in regret means you're living somewhere else. And that's some of our problem. We live in regret. All right. Ideas are given to me, are not given to me, they are given through me. Now, here's a big one. This is the P, the promise. We're still on P, the promise. I'm going to go much faster. But P, the promise, check it out. Ideas are not given to me, they're given through me. That means that my idea isn't my idea. This actually frees me up. Yes, I own it, but in a sense, it's a dual ownership. Who else owns it?
God.
God. Last time I checked, if God's got your back, is that a good thing?
Yeah.
So this is where I never, look, when I went to go ask for the location for our release party, I didn't know it was going to happen. At first, the answer was, I don't really know. And I wasn't going to be like, oh, my idea's not going to work? Okay, thank you. I'll go kill my idea. Look, if you guys approach people with that type of posture, you're wrong. I coached one of our authors the other day. If she's on, I love you, okay? I'm not going to rip on you, but here's the point. One of our authors went into Barnes & Noble and said, how you doing? I'm an author. Here's my book. Or no, they didn't even say it. Here's what they did. They walked in and they said, how you doing, Barnes & Noble? Can you scan this and let me know if you carry this book? Absolutely, we carry this book. And again, we teach our authors how to do this so that 3 checks show up on that screen. And the person was like, fantastic. Well, guess what? I'm the author of this book. I'm a card-carrying Barnes & Noble member. And I wonder what it would look like if we would do a book signing here at this location. Because I'll tell you what, I would love to promote the event, bring in foot traffic, and just make it a great event. What do you think? They did this to 3 different Barnes & Noble, and it worked. And if you Google, can people who aren't traditionally published get carried in Barnes & Noble? What do you think the internet's going to tell you? No. The internet will tell you no. Guess what the internet tells you about people who write fiction books and then turn it into live experiences? Guess what the internet tells you? No. Guess what the internet tells you about someone who creates a live experience called the Elixir Project experience about a fiction book? What does the internet say to you? Can't do it. Guys, stop reading the internet. Stop reading the internet. Here's what this other author did. Love her to death. I'm so glad she took action, because while most people aren't taking action, she did. So let's give her a hand, right wherever she is, all right? So here's the point. She went in and said, hi, Barnes & Noble manager. Do you carry local authors? She got shot down. You see the difference? One is that you're going, who cares if you're a local author? Do you see how our idea was positioned? I never position my ideas in a posture that is not inviting. Some people say, well, how did you get that person to do that? How did you get that idea to happen? It's already a yes in my mind. Okay? Some people don't get it, and you just move on and find the other person. But you don't assume that the other person is going to give a judge and jury over if your idea is okay. Erica, come on up, come on up. I just got Erica's book as a gift for my birthday, and I loved it. It was fantastic. It was hardcover. It was fantastic. I did go to the acknowledgments. I peeked. And you said something in there about how I didn't treat you. Do you remember this? When I interviewed you, what'd you say?
You treated me with compassion and not sympathy.
Because of what was your position in life at that point that the world said?
I was a single mom with 5 children.
Okay.
And you saw greatness in me, even though I didn't see it in myself, and you thought, well, I think she has an awesome story, and I think you can do it. Awesome.
You guys see that? The way that you view people and the way that you broadcast that you view people says everything. All right, let's give her a hand. Awesome. So look, if you guys take this approach with your ideas like, are they going to say yes? Is the zoning board going to say yes tomorrow night? I don't care what the zoning... Exactly. Kathy says, I don't care what the zoning board says. Well, what? Is she going to be illegal? No, she's going to find a way.
She booked her first customers in April.
There you go. See? Come on up, Kathy. Come on up. I'm telling you, folks, this is what I'm talking about today. Kathy books her first customer already without permission from the zoning board. We're not going to broadcast this so they hear that.
Well, we're going to be approved by then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we're going to be.
You're
by
going
then.
to be. But you guys see what I'm saying? She didn't let time say, oh, I can't book you, lady, because I don't have the piece of paper yet. You see what I'm saying? I've had people ask me, can you go do this for me? And what do you think I say? Yes, I can do that for you. And I have no idea how I'm going to do it. This is true about ghostwriting. This I haven't shared the secret. I haven't shared this little story here. So when I was a pastor, I knew I would have to replace my income. I knew I'd have to do that. I didn't know what I could do first. So I'm talking to someone and they're like, well, could you be my ghostwriter? I'm like, yeah, absolutely I can be your ghostwriter. Tell you what, I'll put something together and I'll send it to you in about 2 days. How does that sound? Fantastic. Guess who I called? My ghostwriting friend. And I said, how in the world do you ghostwrite a book, and do you have a proposal, and can I grill you on the phone, and da-da-da-da-da. You see the point?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
All right, good, good. Go grab a seat. Awesome. This is the point, guys. If your idea is your idea, it's you against the world. If it's your idea is you and God, nobody stands a chance. See the difference? All right, the future is certain, but it's yours to choose. The future is certain, but it's yours to choose. I don't get into this whole predestination, free will, everything's predetermined, fate. Here's what I know, okay? Again, I'm going a little faith on you today, but I'm also throwing in Mihai, Csikszentmihalyi, and all kinds of fun little stuff today. Here's the point. David asks God in a prayer, he says, hey, should I go fight these people? And here's what God says. Go down and fight Goliath, because I'm going to give the Philistines into your hand. Were they conquered at that point? When God said that? Were they conquered at that point? What do you think? Yes, but what? There's a big what? Yeah, there's a big if. These guys catch this. Don't lose it, man. Don't lose what I'm about to say. David did not say, sweet, I'll just sit here in the castle. God took him out. God says, I'm going to give them into your hand. Go down. See, you need to take action and say, okay, I'm going after it. It was, I'm not even joking, March, and the book is starting to get pretty well done. Somewhat done, a little done. And my wife says to me, you're going to have an editor look at that, aren't you? I'm married to a truth teller, I'll be honest. She was worried. She said, you're going to have an editor look at that, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, who are they? And I'm like, I don't know. So then I'm like, okay, all right. See, I always take little hints. I'm like, okay, that's a sign I need to go find somebody. What do? I go get Divergent. And I know little tricks like this, folks. It's scary when you know tricks like this. All right, so I go get Divergent. I'm like, acknowledgement page. Okay, there's her editor. Okay, I'm gonna find her. So I tweet her out. I tweet her out. She doesn't follow me. I don't follow her. She probably thinks I'm a bald, scary dude. So I just tweet her out, and I'm like, little tweet, subtle tweet. She's like, oh, here's my email. Boom, 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 boom. I can't do it. What do you think most people do? She can't do it. What do you think most people do? See, it's a sign from God. This book is going to fail. I'm a loser. I should put it down. I'm like, no worries. Who would you recommend? Boom, 6 people. And I just started interviewing them. And found Julie. End of the story. Does this make sense? All right. So the promise, you have to believe there's a promise. You have to believe there's a promise. Otherwise, Mark knew that there was a promise to his idea happening. Okay? The second one is promotion. You guys all get promise first? Promise means that your idea better have a reward. If you have not spent time on what your idea will produce for you, you will stop and you will be sabotaged. If Mark doesn't know what ordinary superpowers is going to do for the world, he's going to quit. But if he sinks his teeth, if Kaya sinks her teeth into what her idea is about the promise of it, folks, Jim Kary.
Yeah.
Jim Kary with the check. Does anyone know this story?
Yes.
Jim Kary, looking over California, desert, parked his car, right? Sitting up there. I'm broke. Nobody's hiring me. What does he do? Wrote himself a check for, I think, $10 million. Put the date on it. Oh! Put it in his wallet. Carried it everywhere. Dad dies, still carries it with him. Pulled it out. Guess what movie he made? And guess how much he got by that date? Right? $10 million. Ace Ventura and Dumb and Dumber, right? Did he do Dumb and Dumber? What did he do? Yeah. Right? All this stuff, right? All this stuff. Boom, happened. Promise. Don't just take your idea and say, well, I'm just going to do my idea. Probably won't do anything for me, but I'll just do it. No. You've already quit then. Sink your teeth into this. Number 2, promotion. By the way, I've gone on record. Guys, you might be like, Kary's a loser in 5 years because it didn't come true. But I believe this is going to be a Hollywood movie. Now, I know I have no clue how that's going to happen. I have no ability to make it happen. But I'm like, you know what? That's an idea. That was an idea way before the book happened. And I'm like, by golly, it's going to happen. Now, if in 5 or 10 years you're like, dude's a loser, it didn't happen, fine. Okay? But that's my idea. You're all right now with me on the red carpet in my mind. We're all having a good time. You guys want to be there?
Yeah.
You want to be there with me?
Yeah.
All right, well, keep sharing the book. That's all I know to do. Keep sharing the book. Keep spreading the message of unhackability. All right? What is it? Promotion? We're going to go quick now. Promotion. By the way, are people still with us? Are they still hanging? All right, people. Hope you're doing well. Are you going to be there on the red carpet with me? You guys want to come too? I want to. All right? Here's the point. Real quick, right? Real quick. We're getting into promotion. Anyone know a story about a little dude who fought a big giant? What was that called? David and Goliath, right? David and Goliath. When it was time to go to the contest, what did he reference?
His experiences.
His experiences. You can take out this giant? Yes. Here's why. What did he say to Saul? Because what? Because I killed a lion and I killed a bear, so I can kill a giant too. Here's the point. Some of you have not taken the small assignment yet. Ouch. Some of you are saying, well, I'll go take the red carpet. Yeah. And yet you have a little assignment that is, go speak to the 5th graders. I take small assignments still. Do you know that? Mm-hmm. Renee, what did it, you messaged me 3 weeks ago and said what? Said, Kary, can you come speak to presidents and business leaders in Columbus? What did you say?
My son had read Elixir Project.
Come on up here, quick, so everybody can see and hear you. So just check this out, folks. I'm telling you, this is some of the secret sauce that people just don't teach. People are like, oh yeah, go up to Hollywood. No, what happened?
So my son had read Elixir Project. He's 11, he's in 6th grade, Dublin schools, and he was so excited about it. When his teacher asked him what he was reading, he was like, oh, I'm doing this. And my mom knows the author. And it hasn't even come out yet, and he was telling his teacher. And she said, oh, well, it'd be great if we could, you should have your mom talk to him and see if he can come to the school and speak.
Great. So she messaged me, what do you think I said?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, and then I said, here's my fee. No, what do you guys think? She said, is this a fee? I said, no, absolutely not. Now, what did the school board say?
Well, it was just through the teachers, and they said it takes 3 months to get a book read by all of the people in the literature department. Then it has to go through this decision-making process and whatnot. And so got back with Kary, said, I guess we can't do it. I wanted to do it around the time right after the launch. I'm thinking, oh, awesome. And before Christmas. But he said, hey, we'll just go ahead and do it in the spring if they want to. So
yeah. So, I mean, thank you very much. So that's the way you got to roll. You know, you just look, if you're scared to fight the lion and bear, don't ask for the giant. Because when you kill the giant, you get all kinds of sweet stuff, right? He got tax-free. Wouldn't it be cool to be tax-free? He got to marry the king's daughter. Pretty cool. I hear she's pretty cool, right? Good stuff, right? Fame. They named songs after him. Okay? Here's the point, folks. He said, I can do it because I took out a lion and a bear. If you're scared to take the lion and the bear assignment, don't ask for the giant. Make sense? All right, next one, progress. Progress. Here we go. Promise, promotion, progress. This is flawless idea anatomy. 4 essential components to make your idea happen. I'm so glad our technology didn't get hacked. You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, it's a little bit of a rocky start. I'm glad you guys are still with me. All right. So here's the point. Flawless doesn't mean fast. Flawless means forward. Somebody take a picture if you like that. Does anybody like that? Flawless doesn't mean fast.
That's tweetable.
Flawless means forward. Guys, this is key. Some of us are so scared to take action because we think, my dream is so slow. God gave me this idea 10 years ago. It still hasn't happened. Erica, when's the first idea that you ever had about writing a book? Do you think you ever had that thought, like even as a young kid, ever? Or was it just later?
It was later.
And people, what, came up to you and said, you should write a book?
Yeah.
See, look at that. How many of you have been told you should write a book? David, can you share the author webinar link? Some of you, that's how most authors make it, by the way. Someone comes up to them and says, you should write a book. Okay? Don't just let that go. All right, let's keep rolling here. Some of you have heard me say this before. Some of you are getting jealous about people on social media who have cornstalk-sized dreams. You're like, wow, look at it on social media. They started this thing, and then 2 weeks later, look at this thing. And then there's me, who has this dream for 20 years or 5 years, and nothing's happened. That's because you have an oak-sized dream, and they have a cornstalk-sized dream. Our cornstalk's there 6 months later. They're gone. Igniting souls, guys, I'm just going to be super honest with you guys. 2004, I had the first seed thought of something called Igniting Souls. Didn't even know it was called that. Didn't even know how to define it. That's what it was. 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Book 1, 2, 3, 4. God, I'm here. God, have you forgotten me? God, what's going on? You guys get the point? And what do most people say? Forget it. I'm done. It's done. I kept pushing. God brought David into my life. Things just started happening, taking off, boom, boom, boom. You're all here today. And we haven't even started yet, right? If you have an oak-sized dream, quit going to the dirt and getting around the dirt and saying, where is this thing? I don't see it. I don't see it. What's going on? Dumb dirt, dumb seed, stupid idea. I'm done. So then what do? You go plan another idea. And then you sit there and you're like, stupid idea doesn't work. Stop and go back and water that thing. Does this make sense? All right. Last one, posture. Then we'll go into some Q&A and stuff, okay? Posture. Has anyone learned anything yet? Okay, I'm going to call on you. What have you learned so far? Anybody? One little thought, one big thought, whatever. Anyone? Renee, what'd you learn?
If I'm not writing it down, it's not going to be implemented until I really put my pen to the paper. If it's up here, it's limited.
Pen to paper. Love it. What do you guys know about people who write down goals compared to people who don't, right? Yeah.
They know where they're going.
What's that?
They have a better idea of where they're going.
They took their idea and put it on paper and archived it. They created it the first time. Next person, what'd you learn?
The RAS filter.
RAS filter, you like that?
Yeah. Tell yourself awesome. You're going to be awesome. You're not going to suck.
Your mind will look for ways to prove that you're awesome.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's good. Ruben.
The connection from ideation to creation, that it actually has happened when you first think about it.
Yeah.
Or that journey to making it happen
Yeah.
does not mean it's not going to, but so making the connection that it's essentially happened twice.
Yeah. Every single thing in this room is created twice. Every single thing. Everything. The bricks, the wood, the lights. Awesome. Anybody else? Yes, Mark.
Pick an idea. I'm canceling myself out with more ideas. I need to pick an idea.
There you go. Pick an idea. And that gets into the second verdict, which is focus, which we don't have time to get into today. This is the Elixir Project experience. The Elixir Project experience is 30 days. Each day you get a video, you get an assignment, you get an action item. day 2, day 3, day 4. And so you literally pop your idea on the assembly line, and then 30 days later, it's done because you actually follow the blueprint. Now, some of you are like, well, I want to build a huge tower in 30 days. Can I do that? No. You break it down into a micro idea. You take your macro idea and break it into a micro idea, put it through the 30 days, put it through the 30 days. That's how I did this. There were certain times where I was editing, certain times where it was cover design, certain times where it was marketing, but it was still the macro idea of Elixir Project. Awesome. Pete, were you going to say something?
Yeah, don't sweat the past.
Okay.
What you've done is you've done. It's there. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But you know, relive your future.
Yeah. And here's what I like to say: remember your future. Remember your future. All right, let's do the last one. Posture. Enthusiasm. Entheos. What does theos mean? God. Theos, theology. Entheos means that you are inspired or possessed by a God. Now, the lady who cussed me out because I walked across the street, she was enthused by something, right? This morning. But this is where people, when they come across me, look, they say, Kary, I feel like you're on fire. Now, why do they say that? Is it because I'm bald? Maybe, I don't know. But I think what they're saying is, I'm enthused. I am enthusiastic. I have enthusiasm, right? In other words, I recognize the co-creation relationship. If it's you against the world, you'll struggle. If it's God and you against the world, you got it, right? I love this. Anyone think he ever had some obstacles, this guy? Success is going from failure to failure without loss of being divinely possessed by God, right? Without loss of enthusiasm. I love it. My son's starting to catch some of this. Watch out, right? At his age, 11. He's like, Dad, we're studying Edison, right? And he's like, you know, the whole Edison thing that we often quote about failure and success. And he's like, he actually never did fail. Because my son, I'm telling you, this starts at a young age. He will not take certain shots in games. Don't tell him I'm showing this. He doesn't even know about Facebook yet. But he will not take certain shots if he thinks he can fail. He won't take any shots if he thinks he can fail. 11. And that happened a lot earlier. Why is that? Why does our world say unless you can bat 1,000, don't even step into the batter's box? If that's your mindset, you're done. Right? Nothing great was ever achieved without loss of enthusiasm. Emerson. Nothing. Right? Without enthusiasm. All right. Again, here's a book that planted the seed thought in my mind when I was a young kid to Your Very Own Adventure, a book for Kary with love from Grandma Oberbrunner. Boom, idea. Oh, book. I'm going to write a book someday. It happened. At that young age, I discovered Africa. I don't know. It's powerful. Ideas are powerful, right? So where do we go with all this? I don't even know what's on the next slides. I don't even know. Okay, let there be light. This is pretty cool. We'll end here in a second. Let there be light. First creative act, right? No? What was said? Who said this? Let there be light. And then what does it say directly after that? Then there was light. Right? Ideation and creation, right? Ideation first creation, ideation second creation. Let there be light. Boom. Implementation. Not let there be light, and then God played Xbox. Then God ordered Domino's Pizza. Then God played Fantasy Football League. Yet, whose image are you created in? Guys, this is your mandate. And yet some of us say, well, you know, I had that idea and it's 20 years from now. Who cares? Who cares? JFK, 62, 69, who cares? It happened. Some of you know me, you've heard me share this before. It's going to become my new mantra, right? What does abracadabra mean? I create as I speak. As a kid, you were hardwired to embody this. Abracadabra. You know, it's raining outside. Abracadabra, sun. That's what you want to happen, right? I think that's embedded in your DNA. I honestly think it's embedded in your DNA. Check this out. I love this. This is starting to get popular. People are starting to send me stuff. Someone just sent me this, Serena, in our group. Elixir Project was done. She said, I'm reading Chase the Lion. Look at this. Every dream is created twice. The first creation is mental. Every invention, every business, every building, every painting is conceived in the right brain imagination first. If nothing more than a single cell idea at that point, the second creation is physical. Mark said it. This is where our next 20 years are going to be spent. Understanding this. That, oh, wow. We were designed to ideate and implement. And yes, life happens, but we need enthusiasm to be that fuel. So here's where we're going to end up. A few questions, 5 minutes left. Guys, David and I are so excited about this. Elixir Project Experience. If you just want a sweater for Christmas and people are like, what are you doing, man? You want sweater? You want gift cards? Folks, I'm telling you, we went into the place where Elixir Project was inspired. The natatorium, right? Mark, you read the book. The name change ceremony, the chapel. We actually went in to the place that inspired Elixir Project and shot the whole course there. So I'm literally at the pool's edge saying, the pool behind me inspired the idea verdict. Sienna jumps in and her friends, and this happens, but today in your life, boom, 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 boom. Look at the template below, fill it out. Folks, this is pretty awesome. It's 30 days to experiencing unhackability in work and life. It launches January 9th, and we do, David, if you can share the link there, we already have dozens and dozens of people who said, I want in, I'm signing up, you got my spot. Did you sign up the other night? You're in the other night. So this is a course that is live, meaning you're going to get 5, I'm actually going to show it to you. Okay, I'm going to show you. You guys want to see a little bit? Take a little peek. So David, I don't know if you can get the film on the screen, but you guys see this? So it talks about, you've been hacked. It talks about what hacking means. It talks about Elixir Project Experience, and there's some of the, ways that we've used it in our business to, make the Shawshank thing happen, to create Author Academy Elite, which some of you are in this picture. We saw our clients getting hacked throughout the years. We realized it was a problem. We wanted a solution. We went out and the last 2 years we've been researching this. Here's Brian. Some of you know Brian's idea. You might say, okay, Kary, does this just work for you and David? No, here's Brian McNeil. You can literally look him up in Ohio here. And he had an idea to start his own business. So anyway, Brian came, he said, Kary, can you coach me? I said, no, I'm too busy. But ride with me to a men's retreat, and I'll teach you everything I know about ideation, focus, and flow. Taught him that in a few hours on our way down to Hocking Hills. Guess what happens? Later, actually this was October, later, as in the next 2 months, he created natural wood mirrors. Boom. Guess what happened? While he's making his magic happen, the Shawshank tree falls. And he's like, oh my gosh, I could totally do woodworking with the Shawshank tree. I got an idea. I'm going to call Kary. Can you help me out? 300 people contacted the owners that day. Brian's the one who got it. Brian creates his first piece and over 3 bids over $10,000 for the Shawshank tree on eBay. You guys see this? This is legit stuff, man. He's featured on the news. He's got articles in the newspaper. There's the wine cellar. Here's Brian in his shop. Online, check this out, folks. What if you experienced unhackability? So here's the point, guys. If you want these things, i.e. the power to create your ideas and implement them effectively, the ability to architect your attention and invest in the things that are important to you, the knowledge to find and utilize the needed resources to accomplish your dream, the understanding to exponentially increase your impact upon the world, the secret to organize your life around flow. We got large sections around flow, which is the optimal state of human performance. Anyone ever see that video I show of the 1960s Olympic where they're basically hopping and you get a gold medal? Look at today, right? You work with athletes.
Yes.
Every athlete today, to achieve what they've done and smash the records that have been so long for decades, they're in flow. We teach you all the elements of that. The course is broken down into 5 master classes. The people who sign up for January 9th now are going to get this. Other people in years to come, they're only going to get the recordings. So these are 5 master classes, and then we have 30 videos dripped on a daily basis, which means you cannot fast track this course on purpose. You cannot microwave unhackability. It's going to be day 1, lesson 1. Then you got to wait. Day 2, lesson 2. Why? Because habits are formed slowly over time. You cannot crush this course in a day. Then we have the guidebook, which again is going to be your template on how to become unhackable. You're going to insert your idea, experience focus, and then engage in flow. You become part of the tribe as this course as well. Every one of our courses has an outcome. Your secret name has your secret name. Deeper Path has your opus. Dream Job Bootcamp has your dream job plan. This has your boon. And if you haven't read Elixir Project, you're like, what is your boon? Your boon is your idea. And we have a boon ceremony, and it's kind of like the capstone of the whole course. It's pretty cool. So what actually is the content? In Module 1, we do something called the unveiling. Just like the fiction book, you learn what type of world we now live in and why unhackability is the new secret formula for high achievers. Then we go into Verdict 1, where if you thought today was deep, boom, this gets even deeper. We talk about what ideas work. We go into Verdict 2 on focus, superhuman focus, where you really begin to implement what are called the focus filters in your life on a daily basis, the RAS filter stuff. Optimal human performance, we talk all about flow, how to silence your inner critic. This is actually shutting down your prefrontal cortex. Your prefrontal cortex is where your judge and jury is. It's where your critic is. It's where, hey Brian, you're an idiot. Hey Brian, you can't do this. In flow, you shut that down. You have a loss of self. Anyone ever see Captain Sully land the plane? They heard about that? They said, Sully, did you worry? Did you have all kinds of fears? He said, no, I didn't even focus on that. He was in flow. Everything else shut down because he was in flow. We teach you how to get in flow, how to flow triggers, how to stay in flow. It's fantastic. And then lastly is the boon ceremony, where essentially you craft your plan to implement your idea. And we make that bulletproof. So this is a program that is launching January 9th. Today, it is available. We are doing kind of an introductory pricing at $497. We do payment plans as well. And we're going to share this with the world very soon. I have a big announcement for the tribe later today at 1:30. This involves you. So if you're part of the tribe, pretty cool announcement. We're filming at 1:30. Any quick questions? Pete, you got to go, man. You go. Any quick questions that people have online or that people have on site? Maybe just 2 minutes of questions. Anybody? About any of this stuff. Flawless Idea Anatomy, Elixir Project Experience, any of this. We do have an unhackability assessment. David, if you can share that link. It's free, so people can actually take that 30-question assessment and realize, okay, I'm totally getting hacked in this area of my life. These are gaps in my life. So the unhackability assessment will really, through your own confession, and it's confidential, it will show you areas where you're getting hacked in your life. Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for coming. And I had an absolute blast today. And this is kind of where we're going to be spending a lot of our thoughts and thinking in the next couple years with Igniting Souls, is helping people experience unhackability, okay? All right, thanks for coming, guys.